Hello Coda, we've got the transmission out of your 2007 Dodge pickup, two-wheel drive. This is what it looks like when it's all apart. I'll go over some things we found on the inside with you, and Eric or Amanda will contact you with the cost estimates. We'll start over here. This is our low reverse clutch. The steel plates are a uniform color. This is a dark green lining, but no extra slippage there. Like we know this clutch hasn't been slipping, there's no extra heat generated on the steel plates. This is our pump cover. We're going to have a pressure regulator valve down there, and in particular we need to look at this TCC limit valve here. Very often the valve is stroking inside of this bore and it wears the bore, so what we've got to do is we're going to have to clean it out, get rid of all the oil, then we'll do vacuum checking where we'll seal off this port and we'll try to draw a vacuum through there, and if the valve is a tight fit in the bore, we'll be able to draw a lot of vacuum through it. And if the valve is a loose fit, then we'll barely be able to pull any vacuum at all. We're aiming for around 20 inches of vacuum if we can get it. This is the pump itself here. The torque converter is going to go into this area. As it spins, it's going to spin these other two side gears. It looks okay right now. We've got to clean it and have a good look at it, but right now it does look like it's fine. These are two speed sensors. Resistance wise they checked okay, so they're probably fine. This is our line pressure sensor. They're a little bit prone to failing, but on a recondition we'll put a new one on all the time, and then we'll probably also put a pressure booster on it as well, which plugs onto the outside and the vehicle harness plugs onto it. On a repair we'd probably reuse it. There's no codes associated with it, and it did seem to be functioning okay. Our solenoid pack, we're going to have all the different solenoids inside the transmission are in it, so on a recondition we're always going to replace this with a new one. You can see that there is metal that's caught in the solenoid, so this solenoid you can see there's some metal there, so the metal is attracted to the magnets, the permanent magnets that are inside of it. This is our valve body here. And in particular we're going to be looking at this solenoid switch valve bore. Same thing, we've got to clean it, then we're going to do vacuum checking and make sure that we don't have any extra wear there. We can have a situation where the oil pressure leaks over a plug and causes the overdrive clutch to apply when it's not supposed to be applied, so it just kind of drags it on. It should be completely off or completely on, and what ends up happening is it kind of partially comes on, and quite often that's the root cause of the failure. So once we vacuum checked it, we'll have a better idea on whether or not there is the extra wear there that we potentially expect. This is our reaction planetary. It looks fine. We've got no extra wear on the gears. The sun gear here looks fine as well. The annulus or ring gear, it looks fine. We don't expect it to be bad. They're not usually bad, but we always have to get a look at it, of course. The Torrington bearings, we don't have them apart yet, but right now we think that everything looks fine in that regard. They felt fine, so once we clean it, we'll take them apart and we'll get a look at the rollers, make sure that they look fine. Just a couple of sun gears here, they both look fine. When we get to the clutches, this is the underdrive clutch. It has not been slipping. You can see the steel plate is a uniform color, as is the friction disc, so we know that the underdrive clutch has not failed. This one is our fourth clutch, and there's a little bit of discoloration here, but it hasn't even transferred onto the steel. There's just a little bit of slippage here, but not really anything to write home about. If we're doing a recondition, we do replace all of these friction pieces, so even though this is not burnt, on a recondition we're going to replace it with a new one. On this particular unit, when we have any extra horsepower, there are different clutches we can use in this underdrive clutch, as well as the overdrive clutch that will increase the capacity, so we're going to highly recommend that in this unit because of the extra horsepower. This one is our reverse clutch. You can see the steel plate is a uniform color. That's a dark green lining. That clutch has not been slipping, so that part's fine. This one is our 2C clutch. A little bit of slippage. You can see the heat spots on the steel plate. So you can see where these leopard spots are. That's from a little bit of slippage. There's another one there. The overdrive clutch is burned badly though. So you can see the leopard spotting on the steel plate there, and there's almost no lining left. You can see these starburst pattern, these waffle marks here, and they're just not there on these other discs. That's because they're worn down, they're carboned up, and there's almost no lining left on it. So the overdrive clutch is our failure point, of course, and like I said, we have to look at that valve body closely to see if we can see why that clutch has failed. The drums themselves, we have to look at the pistons still, but these molded pistons are not really prone to failing, so we don't expect there to be a problem there. But again, once we get it cleaned up, we're going to have a good look at that stuff, and we'll know what the deal is there. Input hub looks fine as well. We've got sealing ring surfaces in there. They're not usually bad. We do on occasion, especially the diesels, this set of splines here will sometimes break and strip out. And the same situation with inside this drum, that set of splines will sometimes strip out as well. Not usually on the gas engines, but it's something that we're always a little bit concerned with, of course. So that's basically what we found on the inside. As I said, Eric or Amanda will contact you with the cost estimates, but now you see what we see on the inside of the transmission. Thanks.